trying to control my emotions. I don't know if I'm doing a good job of it. It's 5 hands in a row that are rather unbelievable. Good morning. Hope you're having a nice summer and a wonderful August. Maybe taking some time off, traveling, vacationing. I don't know. Not too much poker for me this month, but these chunk of hands we're going to jump into. My, oh my. This journey starts, as these things often do, with a fork in the road. In this case, in the shape of jacks. I was going to start off by saying I will only ever refer to jacks as jacks and not jiggities, because this man, this genius, deserves to use that phrase solely by himself. But it has occurred to me that what this man, this genius, and I am being very sincere when I say that, Brad Owen, what he has achieved, what he has done, I could spend hours and days and months talking about it. But let's just say, to introduce a word into the lexicon, even if it's just the poker lexicon, a word that's going to live on forever, it's now rockets, cowboys, ladies, and jiggities. Those are the actual terms. It's not tongue-in-cheek when someone says they have jiggities at a poker table anymore. That's just slang now. A tip of my imaginary hat to Mr. Brad Owen. Huge fan. As I was saying, a fork in the road, a decision point, and jacks. I'm playing the 5-5 game at the Hollywood Park. I'm in for about 300 because that's what I had on me. I've not been sitting here for too long, maybe an hour. I have lost a little. I have won a little. I'm sitting on, 250, 275. I might be under the gun or second to act. I make it 20. Player on my left kind of snap raises me to 80. It gets folded all the way around to me. And now what do you do? What do you do with jacks? I have recently lost quite a few big pots getting all in pre-flop with jacks. It never feels good. You never feel like you're in good shape. What are you really hoping he has? Exactly. Pocket 10s or pocket 9s, right? But you still have arguably the 4th best starting hand out of roughly 220 hands. Hard to fold pre-flop. And it's always better to be the one shoving your stack than calling off your stack. So I do, in fact, shove the entire stack out there. I'm all in. I've made it 20. He's made it 80. I say I'm all in. He snap calls. That's no fun. 2 aces and a king on the flop. Also not great. The turn's a 9. The river is a 6. I mean, what am I beating at this point? I turn over my jacks and he snap mucks. What? I mean, did he literally have exactly 10s? Outside of random bluffs, I don't know what he had, but I am not complaining. Thrilled for the double up and to still be in the game. Okay, I'm going to do things a little differently today. What I'm going to do is, I have a 10-minute and 34-second clip of my hands that I play back to back to back to back to back. I'm just going to play that. Turns out it's a little difficult to make the very best decisions on every single hand if you're playing a hand back to back to back to back to back. Winners tilt. Money's coming in. I must be amazing. So many kind of thoughts rushing in on you, but I want you to experience what I experienced in real time. So here it is, 10 minutes and 34 seconds, uninterrupted, and I'm going to kind of take you through it. Let's do it. So I go from jacks to ace-king here, buttons just on my left. Somebody in early position made it 20, and for some reason I just call. The player on my left calls, and it manages to go with a king-high flop. With a king-high flop, it goes check-check on the flop, check-check on the turn. I just turn it over. I win a small pot. I'm really kind of just reeling from the jacks hand. I hadn't quite recalibrated to get max value here. But I do often with an ace-king in late position, facing an early position aggressor. I just call sometimes. I like to disguise the strength of my hand. That way, I'm controlling the pot, controlling my position, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of, halfway decent excuses for really not getting max value off that ace-king hand. But that's okay, because I'm going to pick up another hand, and I see an ace again. That's nice. And then I see a 6 of diamonds. Okay, so from jacks to king, jacks to ace-king to ace-6 of diamonds. And what's going on now is at the other end of the table, there's 3 players, and they're doing a lot of live straddle and then blind raises to 20. So with the straddle with the blinds at 5-5 and a $10 straddle, and then a $20 blind raise, somebody calls, and I'm thinking, well, I guess I'll just call and see if maybe a bunch of people can call, and maybe I'll just, I don't know, smash the flop and get like a 2 pair, which is, of course, what happens. It's an ace 10 6 flop with my beautiful ace 6 here. Now I have a monster hand, well disguised, but I'm definitely going to try to pile it in at this point. So when I get a couple of checks, let's see what I'm going to start counting up here, and I think I end up with about $100 in my very sloppy way here. I go with about $100. I shove it out there, but unfortunately it goes fold, 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 fold. I don't know. There's about 27 of us, I think, in this hand, but it gets folded all around. That's okay. It's okay. Another $100 pot, and I flip over my ace 6 here, show everybody that I'm hot.
Thank you, dealer. Is that 3 in a row? Did you deal the Jack's hand too? That was 3 in a row, right? The Jacks, and then the Ace King, and then the Ace 6. All right, 4 in a row. Then we'll be $20.
I'm getting cocky. I'm getting arrogant. I'm telling the dealer, make it 4 in a row, and I'll give you $20. I'm also bribing now the dealer at this point, which seems like a decent plan, you know. So as I'm kind of scooping and talking and feeling good, I look down, and of course I get aces. That's right, aces. But now, none of this $20 stuff. I definitely do not want to see another 5-way flop. And so when it gets to me this time, there's a little bit of a table talk, and I'm getting sassy with the guy near the other end of the table. And he's like, oh, you're going to call the 20? And I'm like, no, that'd be a mistake. So I say a real raise. I make it 60. Get a couple folds. I do pick up one caller. And the flop, I don't remember, but I just remember thinking it's a harmless flop. And he checks blind before the flop comes out. So I kind of check and flow. He goes, I check blind. I go, that's fine, I check. So the flop comes out, and he does the same thing on the turn. He just checks before he sees the turn card, and I follow behind him. I'm trying to give him a little rope here. I don't mind a little pot control. Anytime I have one pair, I don't mind a little pot control, right? Even if it's a top pair. So I check back on him, giving him a little rope to maybe try to do something stupid on the river. And in fact, he does on the river reach into his stack and put out 100. It's a snap call for me, and sure enough, he didn't have anything, and I win my 4th hand in a row with my aces. Not bad at this point.
One more. That's what I said, right? I said 20, right? One more.
Good on my word. I threw 20 to the dealer. Stacking up my beautiful, beautiful little chips here. Peek down at what do we got here? Oh, a 9. And then, of course, another 9. Okay. All right. The hits just keep on coming. At this point, I lead out for 20, a modest bet. And it gets around with, I think, maybe everybody folds, actually, to the other end of the table. Again, there was 2 or 3 guys who were all playing pretty great, actually. They're aggressive. They're smart. They're just playing really good poker down there. And at this point, one of the guys goes all in. He's got about 300 in front of him. 300. It's like I'm doing great. And really, the last thing I want to do is go all in pre-flop for $300 with a pair of 9s and watch the beautiful, beautiful chips that I've just stacked in front of me say bye-bye. So I hem and I haw a little bit, and I say, but I'm so hot right now. I'm on such a streak, you know. I show the guy my cards and, say, oh, I'm sure I should have played or something. So I do fold, of course, because I'm not, crazy. And then this happens.
I know. When you're on fire, you're supposed to call. I know. You're supposed to when you're on fire, right? Or keep all the money. That's the other thing. Or keep all the money.
4 in a row was good enough. Like 4 single limits.
Yeah, I was kind of joking when I said 3 in a row and then 4 in a row. Oh! Let me see.
Want to see?
Yeah, I want to see. Okay.
You want to
All right. I think I won.
Queen was the turn.
I said I think I won because the guy who just shoved, he flashes a deuce. So at best, he's got pocket deuces and maybe ace deuce. There's no ace on he's the guy on my right does the full rabbit there. You see that he exposes all 5 cards with the high card being a queen, unless of course he had deuce queen. My nines would have been just fine. That's okay, because guess what comes up next? Kings. You're looking at them right here. Back to back to back to back to back. 5 super playable hands. Lots of premiums. And now with kings, I'm not going to mess around. I'm pretty much back to being under the gun or maybe under the gun +2. I open for 35 and get 1, 2, 3, 4 callers. 5 of us seeing a flop. Now I've got a real hand, a giant stack, and 4 callers, I think, 5 of us seeing a flop of $35. What's that? 35. 70, 140, 175 in the pot. Flop comes jack, 8, 6, 1 check to me. It's on me. And now what do? This is, of the last 5 hands, the most difficult spot of the last 5 hands. It's kind of like I've gotten great hands and they've been easy to play, not a lot of stress and worry. But now I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? I've got a solid hand. I don't want to give people free looks at this, but I probably don't want to boat the plot. It doesn't matter, because I decide I'm going to make it 200. I'm not sure what I'm thinking, actually. It's too big of a bet. With 175 in the pot, I really think the right bet here is, 60%. Bet $100, bet $110, something like that. What am I saying with 200? I'm saying exactly the hand I have, which is I have aces or kings, and everybody please fold. That's what I'm saying with this hand, right? Well, there's a couple folds, and then the other end of the table, guy goes all in. He's got a huge stack. I think our stacks are even. I'm not sure, but they're very, very close. And it gets folded around to me, and now here I am. 5 hands into a massive win streak. All of my chips are going to have to go into play, or I'm going to have to fold. And I think I've talked about this recently, and I don't love that I'm not able to fold when I think I'm beat. Now, I will be completely honest. I didn't think I was beat. I figured there was a solid chance he has something like weird, like an ace-jack, and he's just got out of line. Maybe he's even got a 9-10, and he got out of line. I don't think he ever has jacks here. It's a jack 8-6, right? But obviously, there's a very good chance he has flopped a set. That's exactly what you're trying to do when somebody's hot and you know somebody has a big pair. It's like, yeah, you're gonna call every pair, he's even gonna call every 6-8, but I don't know. I just didn't feel like 6-8 was in his range. Of course, it could have been. So I think hem haul, but I don't think nearly long enough before I stack up all of my chips. Turn over my kings. He turns over his pocket 6s. He has flopped a set. The governor does not call. There will be no miracle. My kings go down in flames. Then I have to start counting up the money. So now you're here and you're like, oh, okay. It's one of the reasons I like to count up all the money. When I say I'm all in, I like to get a count from a player and know what I'm in for, and then shove it out there. Physically put it out there. I hate losing and then having to start counting. And so what has he got? Okay, he's got 4. Turns out he had 580. If I had asked for a count and then counted up 580 and saw what it looked like, then maybe I would have just folded and saved myself. Instead, I'm watching a $1,400 pot get pushed to the other side of the table.
Vicky.